Most student musicians experience mechanical problems with their instrument at some time. Trying to play a damaged instrument can be frustrating, discouraging, and repair work can be expensive.
In the next few minutes, we would like to show you how to prevent problems with your instrument by demonstrating some simple procedures and principles of instrument care.
Research has shown that 80% of all damage to student musical instruments is caused by improper handling and assembly and lack of cleaning and maintenance.
It is obvious then that you can save yourself up to 80% of the frustration, wasted time, and expenses associated with damaged and dirty instruments, simply by learning to take proper care of your instrument. By learning to take care, take pride.
Most musicians would agree that an ideal instrument is one that works properly, looks nice, is clean and sanitary, and will last a long time. You can have an instrument like this simply by following the CARE formula.
C. Commit. Commit to take care, take pride. Commit to watch and listen to this videotape closely, and commit to learn all the procedures for your instrument.
A. Ask. Ask any question you have about your instrument. If there is something you don't understand, ask your band director, ask your private music teacher, or ask a qualified repair technician.
R. Repeat. Repeat consistently the daily, weekly, and monthly maintenance schedule as described in this video and on the care card for your instrument. Make a habit of consistently repeating the correct assembly procedures.
E. Expert. Take your instrument to a repair expert whenever you have mechanical problems with it. You should take your instrument in for a checkup at least once a year to see if it needs professional lubrication and adjustment.
Commit, ask, repeat, expert. The CARE formula is simple, but it can bring great results and make your band experience much more enjoyable. Now come with us and learn to take care, take pride.
The brass family is made up of 3 different types of instruments. Instruments with piston valves that move up and down, such as the trumpet, cornet, baritone, and some tubas. Rotary valve instruments with valves which rotate back and forth, such as the French horn. The trombone, which has a hand slide which moves in and out.
These are beautiful instruments, and they make beautiful music when they are working properly. However, these instruments are very sensitive to what you blow into them and require regular cleaning and maintenance in order to play properly.
They are also very fragile instruments made of soft metals. Therefore, they must be assembled and handled carefully in order to keep them in good playing condition.
First, let's take a look at some general tips that will help all brass players. Then we will demonstrate specific care procedures for your instrument.
The most common problem with brass instruments is caused by what you blow into them. Watch if you can as a flexible cleaning brush is forced through the trumpet mouthpipe, and you will see the buildup that accumulates when a brass instrument is not cleaned regularly.
This residue, made up of sugar, food particles, and other chemicals, builds up as you play your instrument. It is much like the plaque that builds up on your teeth and can be just as destructive.
Several problems can result from plaque buildup in your instrument.
Valves and tuning slides become sluggish and sometimes freeze up. The spaces between piston valves and the valve casing are as close as 1/1000th of an inch. Any buildup in the valve casing will cause sluggish valves.
Your instrument can become a host to harmful bacteria and viruses.
Buildup of plaque can cause red rot, a condition which can eat right through the metal tubing of your instrument.
Buildup of plaque and food particles restricts airflow and decreases the quality of sound.
Following some general rules will help you prevent problems with plaque buildup.
Do not eat or drink soft drinks for at least 1 hour before playing. If you must eat just before playing, be sure to rinse your mouth thoroughly with water.
What goes in must come out. The inside of your instrument should be cleaned on a regular basis, as demonstrated in this videotape.
Use the quality valve oils, slide oils, and tuning slide grease, and other lubricants as directed by this videotape, your teacher, and the maker of your instrument. These lubricants protect your valves and slides from corrosion, as well as keep your instrument working smoothly.
The second most common problem with brass instruments is the denting or bending of brass tubing. Damage to the tubing of your instrument can drastically affect how it plays, how it looks, and can be expensive to repair.
Dents restrict airflow and change the tuning of your instrument.
Dents in valve casings and bent tubing can lock up valves.
Dents in trombone slides can make playing very difficult.
Dents affect the way an instrument looks.
Some general rules will help prevent these problems.
Take responsibility for your instrument. You should be the only one playing and handling your instrument.
Whenever you are not playing your instrument, it should be in its case. After you put your instrument in the case, always make sure that your mouthpiece and other objects will not move around inside the case when it is closed, and that the case latches are closed tightly before you pick it up. Even when your instrument is in its case, it must be handled carefully and set down gently to avoid damage.
Always keep your instrument in a safe place at home and at school to prevent others from tampering with it.
Having stuck mouthpieces and slides is a common problem for brass players and can often end up causing serious damage to an instrument. If you get a stuck mouthpiece or tuning slide, take your instrument to a repair technician. The charge for removing a slide or mouthpiece is minimal compared to the damage you can cause by trying to remove it yourself.
You can avoid stuck mouthpieces by twisting the mouthpiece gently to the right or left while inserting it, and then twisting it in the opposite direction while removing it. Stuck slides can be avoided by following the maintenance schedule in this video and on your care card.
Everyone likes to have an instrument that looks nice. However, everyday use of your instrument can destroy the bright finish. Natural acids from your fingerprints and perspiration will actually eat through the lacquer finish and cause silver plating to become dull and tarnished.
You can prevent this by wiping these fingerprints off with a soft cloth and a little breath on a daily basis. Chemical brass polishes can damage the lacquer finish on your instrument and should not be used. Silver instruments, which have no lacquer finish, can be polished with a good quality silver polish once a year. However, fingerprints should be wiped off daily.
We will now demonstrate proper handling techniques and the daily, weekly, and monthly cleaning and maintenance procedures as found on your instrument care card.
With few exceptions, most of these care procedures for brass instruments should be done at home at a regular practice time and should not take up class time.
The trumpet and cornet should always be lifted out of the case by placing the hand around the valve casings, lifting it out of the case and then placing the fingers in the proper finger hooks. Picking your trumpet up by the slides can bend and lock up valves as well as cause you to drop your instrument. The baritone should be handled in the same manner.
The tuba and sousaphone are much bigger and should be picked up by grasping the main tubing. Even though the tuba is bigger than the trumpet, you must remember that it gets dense just as easily.
Daily, weekly, and monthly maintenance procedures are very similar for all piston valve instruments. We will use the trumpet for the purpose of this demonstration. These procedures will help protect your horn, keep it clean and working properly.
At a daily maintenance time outside of class, you should apply fresh valve oil and remove fingerprints and perspiration.
Valve oil should be applied to piston valves daily at a maintenance time outside of class.
To apply valve oil to piston valves, take the instrument out of the case and lay it in a safe work area. Unscrew the top valve cap. Lift the valve halfway out of the casing and apply just a few drops of oil. Push the valve in and out while rotating to distribute the oil. Each valve will have valve guides which lock the valve piston in the correct position. Twist the valve back and forth until it locks into place and tighten down the valve cap. Repeat this for each valve.
You should remove fingerprints and perspiration from your instrument daily using a soft cloth and a little breath. Always use lengthwise strokes when polishing your instrument.
Once a week at a maintenance time outside of class, you should flush your instrument with water. Clean the mouthpipe with a flex brush or snake, and clean the mouthpiece.
Water should be run through the instrument to neutralize acids and remove buildup. This is best done in a bathtub or utility sink where there is adequate space to work. Run cold water down the bell of your instrument until water runs through all the tubing and out the mouthpipe for a few seconds. Depress each valve to allow water through all the tubing. Hot water will not work any better than cold and can damage the lacquer finish of your instrument.
Then take a flexible brush or snake designed for your instrument and scrub out the mouthpipe and around the crook of the trumpet. Do not force the brush into the valve section. Remove the brush and again run cold water into the bell until the water coming out of the mouthpipe is clear.
After you are finished, remove the water from the tubing by blowing on the mouthpipe and moving the valves. This will remove most of the water. To remove the remainder of the water, blow on the mouthpipe while holding down all 3 valves and both water keys. Dry off the instrument with a soft cloth to prevent water spotting. Be sure to clean the bathtub thoroughly after using it to clean your instrument.
The mouthpiece should be cleaned using soapy water and a brass mouthpiece brush in this manner. Do the regular daily maintenance, and the weekly maintenance is completed. Once a month, after following the weekly procedure of flushing your instrument out with water, you should disassemble your instrument and clean it thoroughly. Clean the tuning slides, apply new lubricant, and check the water key corks.
Disassembly of your instrument should be done in a controlled environment where there is no danger of parts being lost or damaged. After your instrument has been flushed with water, lie it on a towel and remove the valves, valve caps, and slides completely. Place the valve pistons on the towel in an order that will help you remember where to put them back. After removing all the valves and slides, take the body and slides and scrub each tube individually with the flex brush and rinse with water. Drain as much water as possible from the slide tubes and valve casings. Dry the instrument to avoid water spotting.
In order for tuning slides to move freely, all of the old tuning slide grease and other buildup should be wiped off with a cloth or paper towel, and new tuning slide grease should be applied to each slide. Apply the new grease sparingly to the end of the inner slide tubes. Rotate each half of the slide in the socket to spread the grease evenly. Then put the slide in place. Repeat this for each tuning slide. Check the water keys to make sure they are sealing properly. Leaking water keys can affect the sound of your instrument. If you find one that is leaking, take your instrument to a qualified repair technician for adjustment or replacement of the cork.
When reassembling the trumpet, always lay it in front of you so that the bell is on your right and the mouthpipe on your left. The number 1 valve is always closest to the mouthpiece end of the trumpet, and the 3rd valve closest to the bell. There should be a number on each valve piston to help you put it in the proper place. Install and oil each piston, and your trumpet is assembled, clean, and ready to play.